Hello, welcome to DJ Podcast. My name is David James, and I am reporting this one as a sports podcast. This one is it's part of the Chicago Bears podcast. So if you're a Bears fan, hopefully you love it. Hopefully you follow it. I also do a spiritual podcast, but this one is going to be the spiritual podcast is being one's highest self. So just a little promotion of that on my Bears podcast. But anyways, boy, we have watched Tyson Bagent here for what? What's it been, 4 weeks? He's 2-2, I believe. He came in during that game versus Minnesota. That's when Justin Fields got injured, and you immediately saw a difference in how the two quarterback styles are. Justin Fields holding on to the ball too long, sometimes up to 6-7 seconds, allowing the sack. Bagent, he's reading the progressions. He's getting the ball out quickly. His footwork looks a lot better. Some people are saying his arm strength isn't as good as it can be. But he's a backup quarterback. So what do you expect? I think he's pretty good. You can just see the difference. Like when he comes out and plays, you can just see the difference. He's like I said, he's getting the ball out quick. He's making good decisions with it. Did he make some mistakes? Yeah, he threw 4 interceptions versus the Saints. He was given several chances to come out versus the Saints and win the game, and he couldn't. But remember, this is what, his 4th start in the NFL. I hope they re-sign him at least as the backup quarterback for next year. I'm curious to see what quarterback they run with next year. Are they going with Justin Fields? As of right now, I hope they don't. But winning this game versus Carolina Panthers really truly helped. It really truly helped the Bears get and secure. They haven't secured it yet, but they raised their percentage of getting the number 1 overall draft pick from about 23% to about 43%, depending on what Carolina Panthers do for the rest of the year. And the Panthers look terrible. Bryce Young looks worse than Justin Fields. And that was the guy everybody was clamoring about. Oh, we should get rid of Justin Fields and go with Bryce Young. Nah, I'm really glad we didn't go with Bryce Young. He's too small. You can see him trying to throw the ball like over the receivers because he's trying to. He's not tall enough. He's not tall enough to throw it. He's very talented, just like Justin Fields is very talented. They were comparing Justin Fields and Bryce Young all night with the mistakes they were showing and things like that. Just and his ability to run out. Bryce Young has that ability to run out and get a first down with his feet, and if you notice, one difference between Fields and Young and Fields and Tyson Bagent is when they run with the purpose and goal of getting the first down and not making the huge, fat, flashy play. Now, Justin Fields did not hurt himself trying to get like a touchdown, but he kind of reminds me of Cam Newton. Or Cam Newton was the big runner, the guy who's always trying to run to get the big fancy play. And look, where's Cam Newton now? These guys, these quarterbacks that are not run first, but these quarterbacks where we compare them to running backs. I don't want to see Justin Fields get 1,000 yards. That was one of Justin Fields' quotes. He's going to get 2,000 yards this year. And I want to see it. I want to see him throw for 5,000 yards. I don't want to see him run for 1,000 yards. Do I want to see him run occasionally and get a first down? Yeah, but I want to see him run out of bounds. I want to see him running to try and running and throwing on the go to try and throw the defense off. That's one thing that Tyson Bagent did that you didn't see very often from Justin Fields. You were starting to see it. Bears versus Commanders, like the big breakout game that we all talk about now, the Thursday night football game, they won 40-20, and we were starting to see it. That running and trying to trick the defense into like is he gonna run for the goal line, or is he gonna run just to get the first down? And it's smarter to run just to get the first down. So the Bears Saints game, that was just a terrible game. They could have won that game like 5 times. They missed the Saints missed a field goal at the end. The Bears missed a field goal at the beginning. Interceptions, mistakes were made. Boy, they should have won. They really should have at least been able to tie that game up. A really good quarterback, as good as Tyson Bagent is, a really good starting quarterback would have went and at least tied that game up with like 3 minutes left to go. And the defense, every single second half snap started in Bears territory. And the Bears defense was able to hold them in those moments. Yeah, they missed a field goal. By all means, the Saints should have won that game more convincingly. That's another thing I take away from that, is how poorly the Saints played, even though they won that game. It feels to me kind of like the Panthers game where the Bears just won 16-13. I said they won a poorly played game. If the Panthers weren't as bad as the Panthers are, they would have lost that game. I was betting the over. The over was 38.5. That's a really low point total for an NFL game. I guess you can consider it a defensive game. Montez Sweat finally. Now I shouldn't say finally, but he had a positive impact on the game. The Bears did get 4 sacks that night, which is positive. Bagent didn't throw any interceptions. They didn't turn the ball over once that game, which is, I think, the reason why the Bears won it. The Bears won it because they handled the turnovers. And they understood that kicking field goals might be a way to win the game. I mean, what was there? 1 touchdown in 16 points, or was there 2? Like I feel like there had to be 2 touchdowns in there somewhere, right? No, I think it was 3 field goals and a touchdown. Remember, it was like 10-9. What a pathetic game on both sides. It was a shame. It was a shame to watch. And I guess all it does is excite me for next year. I want the top draft picks for next year. I'm super curious to see what Ryan Poles does going into next year. I listen to the professional sports commentators all the time saying the Bears, if they play this offseason correctly, they could be the Bengals, the team that flips their entire identity around. Right now, currently, the Bears' identity is so low. It's hard to watch. It's hard to make podcasts about. It's hard for me to continue my fanship. But you just do it. You just keep doing it because you have to see. I mean, you don't want to miss out. It's a fear of missing out. That's what being a sports fan is. That's what being a Bears fan is. It's the fear of missing out. And it's like being a Chicago sports fan, a Cubs fan for multiple years. I guess you can say I did watch the Chicago Cubs World Series. I was a huge Cubs fan for the longest time. Baseball became boring and slow, and the season is too long. I can't stand the fact that it's a 162-game season, 164-game season. Someone always corrects me. It's 164. It's 100. It don't matter. It's too many. I think that MLB should change their entire format. They should make it. They should emulate a little bit more what the NFL is doing. I think the MLB should go to 24 3-game series weeks. 24 weeks, where a week is a 3-game series, Thursday through Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't think they should go up against the NFL on Sunday. They should block in those spots. It should be like 2 night games and a day game. You can have all 3 night games. Hell, you can do your day game on Thursday, whatever you want to do. That would be a 72-week season. That would be a 72 game season. To me, it would add excitement. It would add urgency to the MLB game, and to the MLB season, to the point where what I really hate, what really frustrates me about the MLB is in the beginning of the season, for example, if the Cubs would start off 5 games under 500, they go, well, we still got a lot of baseball left. Well, we can double those games. We can go to 60. We still have a lot of baseball left. You can double it again. You can go to 120 games. And right around 120 games, right around the All-Star break, right after the All-Star break, is the first time there's an urgency to win baseball games. It's like, here we are, but there's still a lot of games left. There's still 40, 50 games left. To me, that's the problem with MLB. It's the reason why it doesn't resonate with younger people, is the season is too long. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to watch every single game. I don't have enough time to invest into MLB game. It's one of the things that makes the NFL season so great. I was disappointed when the NFL raised it to 17 games. They're probably going to raise it to 18. But the sense of urgency to win the season will still be there. Eventually, though, it dulls out. And that is something I think the NFL needs to realize. I do like planning my week around. I got my Thursday night football, I got Sunday night football, I got Monday night football, and it's perfect right there. They highlight certain games. You watch every team gets a Thursday night, every team gets a Monday night. Certain teams get the games a little bit more. It's based on how they projected last year. Like this year we had the Thursday night game with the Bears and Panthers. I think everybody expected the Chicago Bears to be better with the expectations of Justin Fields going into the season versus what we are currently watching. What we are currently watching with this season. And it's not anything that anyone expected, right? We really truly did expect Justin Fields to at least look like an NFL quarterback. And he has the talent, he has the arm strength, he has the speed, he has the running, he has the talent that we want to see that could be a top 10 quarterback. It could be a top 10 quarterback. It's something that we hope for, but my hope is dwindling. He gets injured every single year, and part of the reason why he gets injured every single year is because he holds onto the ball too long. He's a running quarterback. He is a mobile quarterback, but there's a difference between a running quarterback and a mobile quarterback. A mobile quarterback is somebody like Patrick Mahomes has become a mobile quarterback, moving out of the pocket and not running for 10,000 yards. The one exception to the rule is Lamar Jackson. He's a very elusive running quarterback, but he's also one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the leagues. So what a quarterback needs to do is be a quarterback first and not necessarily be a pocket quarterback. Because these days, teams are starting to put a lot of money into the Khalil Macks, into the pass rushers, into the Sweat, like we just signed Sweat. Last year we did Robert Quinn. Teams are starting to put a lot of money into the opposite defense. The defense, the guy who is sacking the quarterback, the guy who is rushing the quarterback, the guy who is putting time and effort into stopping the quarterback. That is his main role. This year we also got the Ngakoue guy, who's I'm hoping that Sweat shows up on the other side and allows Ngakoue to make some plays, right? I overall I like what the Bears are doing. I like what Ryan Poles is doing. I don't really care that much for Matt Eberflus. I think that I listened to his interview and it showed you he was all over the place. Is Tyson Bagent the starting quarterback? Well, 51, 49%, Justin Fields. It's like, is he? He's. I noticed he's labeled as probable, or is he out? Well, Tyson's going to be the quarterback. So why is it related as probable? Well, it's a day-to-day process. It's like, Eberflus, we just want a straight answer, right? Eberflus, I hate changing head coaches this often, and I think going into next year, I'm kind of hoping that Ryan Poles, I think Poles should be giving another year to draft and pick players, but I'm hoping that Poles and management decides to let Eberflus go. They pick another head coach, and the head coach and Ryan Poles get together and decide exactly which quarterback they're going to pick in the first round next year of the draft. And who it's going to be, is it going to be Caleb Williams? I don't know. Like, I don't follow college football as much as I should, being an NFL fan. But one thing you realize over the years is these draft picks, every single year, I feel like Caleb Williams is going to turn into the next Johnny Manziel, the Johnny Football, the next Baker Mayfield, where I think they were both drafted number 1 by the Browns. Remember the Browns, like, every single year would get the top pick, and they would always draft a quarterback, and you're like, they didn't pan out. They didn't pan out. I think their trade with Deshaun Watson was terrible, right? But at least the Browns are trying to continuously find the answer over quarterback, which is what I want the Bears to be. And I have a feeling that Caleb Williams is going to turn into that. He's the number 1 overall pick. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be great. And then kind of flatten out. What you want is the Taylor Lawrence out in Jacksonville. Jacksonville is doing great this year. I think they're 7-2. I think they're going to beat the 49ers going into this week. I'm excited to watch this week fold out. We're actually going into the kickoff right now for some of these NFL games. I believe it's week 8. I don't know. I've kind of lost my steam on the season. I'm still going to watch in general because See, that's the thing. Going back to the excitement of the NFL, even as we go into week 8 or week 9, I know that I don't have to wait forever to get to the playoffs. The season is broken into Thursday through Monday. It's very easy for me to compartmentalize not just the Chicago Bears season, the 49ers season, the Jacksonville season, because I'm watching. Then there's Detroit. Detroit is coming up and showing us, yeah, they actually are a good team this year. Every single year I would hear, Detroit is going to watch out for Detroit. They're going to be a good team this year. Detroit. And here they are this year doing it with Jared Goff, out of all people. You know, it shows you that you just need a quarterback who understands the game, who understands who to throw to, when they need to throw to, understands the timing of being a quarterback. I guarantee you, if you watch Jared Goff, he isn't holding onto the ball for 7 seconds. and not completing a pass and running directly into the pile, trying to get a first down, busting through the pile. See, and that's what we're seeing from Justin Fields. Even with Tyson Bagent behind the exact same line that Justin Fields is going behind, he's only been sacked 4 times in 4 weeks. Justin Fields would have been sacked 8 times in 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Bagent is throwing more interceptions, but it's not like we didn't see some fumbles and turnovers from Fields as well. So in 4 games, he's thrown a bunch of it, like 6 or 7 interceptions, which isn't good. But as you saw last week through the Panthers, we kind of felt like he had adjustment. We kind of felt like he had something to show us, like, hey, I'm working on this, I'm improving it. First off, what is it, his 4th NFL start? This undrafted rookie, the story of Tyson Bagent is great. That's one thing I do like, but I like his moxie. I like him raising his hands up to the crowd. Hey, make some noise, cheering him on. He's getting the crowd into it. This kid has the appearance that we want to see from a quarterback. He has the positive attitude that we want to see from a quarterback. I think Tyson Bagent will eventually be a starter on somebody's team. I think you'll see him as the number 1 starter on someone's team. Will it be the Bears? I'm going to say I hope not, because I hope that the Bears draft the right quarterback going into next year. I think he'll be an excellent backup. Tyson Bagent can be an excellent backup for the Bears for a few years here. But when the new quarterback, and it's going to line up perfectly, when the new quarterback, or when the Bears do sign a franchise quarterback, and I think it's going to happen, hopefully, in the next couple of years, I think they're going to eventually find someone who they'll say, all right, we're going to give this guy an extension and really see if he can be a quarterback that we can build around. And I think around that time, they're going to take Tyson Bagent and trade him to a team that's struggling and needs either a bridge quarterback to get to the next quarterback for them. Like, who would we be seeing in a couple of years really looking for that all-star quarterback? I think maybe Detroit, although Goff is doing a pretty decent job. Watch the Browns get fed up with Deshaun Watson. Atlanta is looking for quarterbacks. And Bagent, is he a starting quarterback? No, but he can be a gap quarterback. He can be a quarterback that you put in there for a few years while you rebuild a culture. Because I think he clearly has the ability to change. Tyson Bagent, that is, has the ability to change the culture and of a thing. He has those leadership skills. I see a lot from him. He might be one of the best career backup quarterbacks of all time. Watch that happen. That would be exciting to watch him go from the Bears to a team and see his future blossom. I always root for the guys who start out on the Bears. You know what I mean? I always root for them to unfortunately, I root for them to improve. Like Roshan. What was his name? Roshan Johnson, the linebacker. Roquan Smith. Like, I thought he was going to be good. I think he's on the Panthers. So, was he the Panthers or the Saints? They just played against him recently. But anyways, I always root for the guys that the Bears draft, saying, hey, it's tough to be a Bear. Hopefully you make it good on another team. Of course, I'm always hoping that the Bears put together an actual playoff team. I want to see them in the playoffs again. I hope to see them in the playoffs again. But sometimes, I know, I get it. It feels hopeless to be a Bears fan. But you got to stick with it. You got to stick with your team. so you don't miss out on it. So you can say I was there the whole time. I've been watching the Bears since 1999, since the Urlacher days, and it's fun. Overall, it is fun to see a team fluctuate and grow and drop and raise itself back up. It's fun to do that. It's fun to get excited about next year, which happens a little too much in Chicago sports. But we want to see it pan out. It's tiring. It is tiring. Stick with it, and just be the best Bears fan you can be, because it's a long, bumpy road. We're hoping these moves like Kevin Warren seals the deal on the new stadium. I think the new stadium in Arlington is a great idea to bring in more seats, to bring in more revenue, to hopefully bring in the better players, the better prospects. Kind of what the Chicago Cubs did with the Ricketts family came in and totally turned around the Chicago Cubs. There were things about the Cubs that we didn't like them doing. We didn't like them putting the Jumbotron up and all the extra advertisement that the Cubs added. But it yielded them a World Series 2016. But what have we seen since then, right? We need to see something better out of the Cubs. Even though I don't watch the Cubs religiously like I do, I will always follow them. I will always pay attention to them. And, of course, if they do big, I'm going to be a fair weather Cubs fan, because the season is just too long. I can't watch the MLB like I watch the NFL. Like I said, I like the NFL because you always feel like you have to win. You always feel like you have to be out there for the game, winning the game, and I just want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to every single week be like, this is one thing I love about football is when the Bears go 0-2, you go, oh my God, the season is over. Like you just feel like you have to watch every single game, because every single game is important. It's set up really well. So, like I said, I think MLB should go 24 weeks, 3-game series. If it's a rain out, you just play it the next day. It will always allow you to have fresh starting pitchers. It will allow you to have fresh hitters. I think that's what the sport should do. I don't think will ever be what the sport actually does. Some people say, oh, we'll move it to 154 games like it used to be. No. I need to see it around 100 games, or like my format at 72 games. I really want to see the season look like, boy, we need to win every single series. And that would get me back on watching the MLB. Until I see a huge change like that, I just can't. So that's why I watch the NFL. I'm not a huge fan in basketball. I've always enjoyed like the Michael Jordan years, but I just feel like the game has de-evolved so much in basketball where you're just not watching. You're watching a lot of flopping, a lot of the players invent their own teams. It used to be a team was created by the general management and the managers. These days, it's LeBron. Wherever team LeBron James wants to go to is the team he goes to. Whatever team the big superstar in the league wants to go to, that's where he goes to. It's not like it was back in the 90s where a team was built through trading and drafting and stuff like that. And now it's built. Where's the stars going? Where are we gonna make a 3-person, we can't beat this team type of team? And that is what it's become. Everyone says the regular season in the NBA doesn't really matter. It's about getting to the playoffs, and then you just do play really good in the playoffs. It's about these days. It's about resting your stars instead of playing the stars. Once again, there's no urgency in the season, in the regular season, to win the games. Part of the strategy is resting your stars. It's kind of silly, in my point of view. So, So once again, though, I'm just getting excited for next year's Bears season, and that's what we have to do. I want to see Justin Fields play out the season. I want to see, can he be the player that we all imagine him being or not. And I'm really hoping, what I really want to see from this Bears organization, to see if we have turned a leaf, to see if we have become something that I want to watch. And I'm going to watch it because I have to. I have to continue. I've been watching them 20 years. I can't give up on the team. But what I really want to see is for Ryan Poles to make a decision. I don't want them to say, "Oh, let's sign Fields." Like, I've seen enough of Fields. I've seen enough of Trubisky. Like, we need to move on. When a player, you give them 2 or 3 years. When the quarterback in 3 years isn't good, you gotta kick him to the curb. And I hate to say that about Justin Fields because he is so talented. And another team will pick him up, and another team might get the talent to match his level of play, the NFL play. And I think it's in him somewhere, but I'm hoping the Bears just go, I am moving on from him. We're going to start over from the beginning with a new head coach. The new head coach is then going to help me, meaning Ryan Poles would be saying this, is going to help me pick the new starting quarterback for the Bears, and we're going to give them 3 years. We're going to give, right? You give them 3 years. The first year is always a shocker. Like, it's always a welcome to the NFL. The second year is working on your stuff, and the third year is show me what you got. That is kind of the formula for it. I do think it takes three seasons to fully get it together, and after 3 seasons, bam. Maybe even after 2, bam. It's just kind of like we have to move on and continuously find the new head coach and find the new quarterback. I want the new head coach to be an offensive guy. I want them to hire a defensive coordinator. I have an offensive-minded head coach. I want to see the Bears start scoring at least 28 points a game, 25. We got to be getting at least 3 touchdowns a game, and occasionally wowing people with 5 touchdowns a game. We have to have those games where your team, the Chicago Bears, is scoring 35 points. We can't be like, I never want to see a 16-13, we struggled to score points type of game. I know every single team has these moments where the team doesn't click. We saw the Kansas City Chiefs lose to the Broncos a couple of weeks ago, and it's kind of like, what happened? It didn't click. That does happen, but you want the expectation to be, yes, the Bears are going to get 21 points. They're going to get 24 points, 25 points, 28 points. Yeah, they can score 4 touchdowns in a game. They could score 2 touchdowns per half. Like that's kind of what I want my team to say. Yeah, we can stop the other team. The defense needs to be there, which is why we want a good defensive coordinator. Okay? But I really want them to focus on the offense and say, look, if you don't beat us, we will beat you. That's what I want. That's what I want the Chicago Bears to be. If you don't beat us, we will beat you. We will beat you 40. We'll beat you 45. We'll beat you 50. We will beat you 50 to 40. Yeah, our defense didn't hold up, but man, our offense, every single time they went out, they scored. And I feel like we haven't seen a game from a long time from the Chicago Bears that really felt like this was a full, complete. Maybe the Washington game was the closest to that, where DJ Moore came up with 3 touchdowns during the Washington game. And I feel like an actual all-star quarterback will bring out the best in DJ Moore, bring out the best in Darnell Mooney. I like this Scott guy that's coming out. I've seen a lot of good catches from him. Cole Kmet has been awesome. He's actually turning into the tight end that I think the Bears need. He's making the plays for the end zone. I think it was the Saints game. He had 2 touchdowns to Cole Kmet. He's really shown himself to be a good blocker, and after he blocks, he comes out and then catches the ball. He's playing the tight end role exactly how the tight end role should be played. So I'm seeing a lot of good stuff from Cole Kmet. There are pieces to this team where I do see, like, hey, let's have them move on to next year with us. And there's pieces of this team where it's like, I hope they drop him. Velus Jones Jr., please stop putting him on the field. He's not that good. I want to see him dropped. There's pieces. Cody Whitehair, can we drop him, please? Finally, can we drop him? He's not that great. It's his best games are behind him, basically. Eddie Jackson, best games are behind him. Like, we need to see a refresh of this team. And this is the offseason to do it. You're going to have 2 very high first-round draft picks, one from the Carolina Panthers and one because the Bears aren't that good of a team. So we need to see it. I believe Poles I want him to work his magic where he drafts the quarterback and then turns the other first-round draft pick into multiple second-round draft picks. Right? Isn't 2 first-round draft picks worth, or isn't 2 second-round draft picks worth a first-round draft pick? See what I mean? Like his Poles' first draft, he turned 7 draft picks into 11. Like, I need to see that. I just want the Bears to draft as many players as possible so we have the best chance of putting the best players on the field. And I don't think that Ryan Poles is in the hot seat for this year. Matt Eberflus is in the hot seat definitely for this year. I think Ryan Poles will be in the hot seat next year if his draft picks don't work out. And watch, it'll just start over again, and it'll be frustrating. But hopefully not. I hope Ryan Poles shows us what he can do, and we start seeing consistently good Bears football. And maybe even make a couple of years of playoff runs. I just want to see a playoff run. How about 2-3 years in a row? Wouldn't that be so exciting? It's been so long since I felt like we've done that. There were some Jay Cutler years that happened where it's like, all right, we're in the playoffs. Then of course, Green Bay. Man. Jordan Love, he doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers, so I'm not too worried about him. I want the Bears to be in the top of the NFC North, or at least like in the discussion of being the top of the NFC North in this part of the season, in the November part of the season, in the December part of the season. It's like every single year we come out in the beginning of the season and go, yeah, he looks good. Let's go ahead and bet on the Bears to win the Super Bowl. By the end of it, it's like, nah, let's bet on the Bears to get the number 1 draft pick. No, I want to start seeing it. I hope we start seeing it. It would be so exciting. It would really make this podcast come to life if the Bears came to life. It's hard to continuously talk about. It's hard to continuously talk about the Bears. It is. It's a challenge, but I keep doing it every single year. And in a good Bears year, I'm gonna have more podcasts because it'll be more fun to do. In a bad Bears year, they're gonna be spread out a little bit because you know what? Sometimes they just don't deserve to be talked about. But I haven't done one in a while. So here we are, DJ Podcast. I feel good. Kind of about the Bears' future. When I back up and look at it, everything is in front of them. They have some really good high draft picks next year. Ryan Poles is putting together. I really hope that he puts together some good trades. The Montez Sweat deal, people were criticizing him about. I think he's going to be a good, impactful player in the next 3 years here. But I want to see that pan out. Somebody said that might be a hot seat player for Ryan Poles. Is Montez Sweat gonna put, because we can't have another Claypool, right? We can't have another Claypool where he just comes in. He was supposed to be this wide receiver, help out Justin Fields, and he was a bust. So we can't see that. So I do think that this Montez Sweat deal will be highly looked at as one of the things that either keeps Ryan Poles around or not. But honestly, this draft is going to be this upcoming 2024 draft is going to be the draft that makes or breaks Ryan Poles' season, or Ryan Poles' Chicago Bears career. It's going to be the one that determines what is going on with the Chicago Bears. So, and there we have it, guys. DJ Podcast, DEEJAY podcast, podcasts.com. My name is David James. Hopefully you enjoyed this this episode. Bear down, guys, going into this week. Let's just hope for the best. Bear down.